but the Pittsburgh Penguins are heading to Sweden in 2025. They will play 2 games, one on November 14th, the second on November 16th in Stockholm, Sweden, at I believe it's called Avicii Arena. I might be wrong with that, but
no, you're right. That's it. That's the one.
But they'll go up against the Nashville Predators, the first time that they've been playing international hockey since 2008, 2009, where they played, in Stockholm, Sweden. Now, if you look back at those games in October of 2008, like I said, the way back machine at this point, Sidney Crosby was in his 3rd season, 4th season, something like that. The only players that remain from those teams are Sidney Crosby, Kris Letang, and Evgeni Malkin. Now, Marc-Andre Fleury is playing on a different team. Jordan Staal is playing on a different team, but those are the only 3 that remain with the Pittsburgh Penguins. My question to you here is, if you could choose one other player from that lineup, pick him out of 2008 and just drop him into the lineup here in 2025, who would it be?
So I did pick a couple of names just because this isn't an easy one. Also because the Penguins currently just need that much help. And I'm going to start with possibly the easiest choice, and you could probably question it because he is still playing, and that is Marc-Andre Fleury.
Mm-hmm.
Young Fleury, going on to win the Stanley Cup that season. Fleury, was a monster in the net. Playing damn near every game, pretty much 2 seasons prior, being a consistent face between the pipes for the Penguins. What more needs to be said about Marc-Andre Fleury that hasn't already been said like a zillion times on this podcast, let alone everywhere around Pittsburgh? Just the current state of the Penguins is they need steady goaltending, and Marc-Andre Fleury, even in 2008, brought that.
Yeah, especially in the regular season. Now, the playoffs, 2008 playoffs, which is what he was coming off of when they went to Sweden, and the 2009 playoffs, is a good Fleury.
Mm-hmm.
Good playoff Fleury. If we were talking 2010 playoffs, 2011 playoffs, 2013 playoffs, where he got benched for Tomas Vokoun, maybe it's a different story. But regular season Marc-Andre Fleury, like Stockholm, Sweden, early 2008 Fleury, yeah, that's exactly what the Penguins need right now. We saw in the last week what good goaltending does, even for a bad team. It can kind of mask a lot of mistakes. So I agree with you. Fleury should certainly be up there. After Fleury, the first name that popped into my head, and again, we're going based off of players that were in the lineup in Stockholm in 2008. The next name that popped into my head was Sergei Gonchar. What did we talk about this entire episode? Kolyachonok. Yeah, the left side's a mess, which has given him a chance. And it's good because he's young and he can grow into it. Owen Pickering in the second segment. Yeah, the left side's a mess, which means he might have an opportunity. The only problem is Sergei Gonchar did not play until February of the 2008-2009 season, and he was not on the roster, was not in the lineup, I should say, in Stockholm. So I can't pick Gonchar. I look at the rest of that defense. Brooks Orpik comes to mind because he's one of my favorites, but I'm not sure how well Brooks Orpik would perform in today's NHL, just his style of player.
That was my other name for what it's worth. If I can just take the mic from you here for a minute, the shutdown defenseman. Who cares what kind of style he plays compared to the league? He was, regardless of his willingness to throw the body around, he was a solid enough shutdown guy that played the left side. And I believe Gonchar was a right shot. So that kind of...
Gonchar's a lefty.
He's a lefty too. He is a lefty. Well, see how little I know. That's mostly why I picked Orpik, though. Mostly because, yes, he did play in Sweden. By the way, Fleury played both games in a back-to-back in Sweden. Once again, just consistent face. But Orpik, regardless of the physicality, regardless of those sort of things, just a shutdown defenseman, and the Penguins are just, much like goaltending, in need of someone regular in the lineup that isn't on the right side and can just play defense, nothing more, nothing less. And that's what Orpik was able to bring then. And late into his career, becoming a 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Mm-hmm. Sorry, 2-time, thanks to the help of the Washington Capitals. So he was still able to bring it his whole career. Just a solid face to add to this sort of lineup is something the Penguins could use.
Yeah, it's more so curiosity with me. Not that I'm doubting Brooks Orpik. Listen, he was one of my favorite players. We did our all-century teams or quarter-century teams for the Penguins, and he was on mine because I like Brooks Orpik that much. And I know he played up until 2019, but the game even between 2019 and now has changed very, very much.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious as to how that version of Orpik would fare in today's game. Now, it might be well, but I think that's why I look at Jordan Staal as my option here. Like if you're taking Fleury and you're picking Fleury and that's going to be your choice, I'm going to say, all right, who else can I take with the the claw from Toy Story? I'm going Jordan Staal because Penguins could use young two-way Jordan Staal. They could use Staal, Cook, and Kennedy version Staal. I mean, you could argue that they could have used him after they traded him, but that's the way the cookie crumbled. But the Penguins could use a Jordan Staal right now. Somebody in the middle of the ice. If you brought him to today's game, I mean, does he supplant 38-year-old Evgeni Malkin on the second line? Like, does he finally get to be the number 2 center on the Penguins with a fully healthy Malkin and Crosby? I don't know. I mean, it's all hypothetical, but I think that they could really utilize a guy with the size and the talent of Jordan Staal at the age of, what was he, 18, 19 years old that season, whatever he was. Yeah. But
young. How about that?
Very, very young. But no, I think that would be so much fun to watch that version of Staal come back for today's game.
It's the plant Kevin Hayes, that's for sure.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, I think he might even jump over Evgeni Malkin just because Malkin's style and overall game are clearly taking negative steps, but that's what you expect from a 38-year-old who's played a career full of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And for what it's worth, I mean, Stahl's still showing that his style of play can still do it at the NHL level today. You kind of have that benefit of being able to see what he's bringing this year to Carolina. Again, as a more of a depth setter, as a bottom 6 center, but as their captain and as their leader,
mm-hmm.
It is what they rely on, especially now down the stretch again.
Yeah, neither of us took the hero of those games, though. Neither of us said, you know what, bring in 2-goal Tyler Kennedy, bring in OT goal Tyler Kennedy, and throw him in the bottom 6. I think that's mainly because you see a lot of guys that are like Tyler Kennedy in this lineup, guys that can score 15 goals a year, but that's about ceiling. I don't want to bash TK, but compared to some of these other names like Staal, Orpik, Fleury, I think that there's a reason that we went with those guys.